All right.
Oh, no.
He's looking good.
He is
not looking great.
Good.
The old Big Bear.
Can I also, just for comparison's sake, Royce knows me very well. You wouldn't describe me as a health nut.
No, I furthest thing from.
I'm known to be a guy who generally burns the candle at both ends all the time and doesn't live a healthy lifestyle. I'm aging considerably better than this man.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, it almost makes me wonder if I hadn't have squandered my whole life and tried to be a good, non-smoking, healthy person who does push-ups. What a goddamn Adonis I'd be. But this man is not looking good.
Somebody goes, Owen in the house. Well, there's a reason Owen's in the house, and you're going to find out why. This is from Easter Sunday.
So there isn't that many people, and I can see what songs you guys want to hear. Happy Easter.
He sounds
Christ is risen.
So happy, right? That's a happy guy.
$5 from Robbie Don't Care. Do you find it risible when I say the name Biggest Dickus? Amen. Whatever name you want. That's a good one. All right, let's see.
This man is
I had a great morning with my family. Me and my son played on the trampoline a lot.
Did you?
They're now at an Easter egg hunt for chocolate. It'll go for hours. And it was best that I just hung back, did work. It's more in my nature. I had a great family time. Then we'll have a great family dinner. But all the chocolate stuff, there's always... I'll just start talking to people about, the moon and whatnot.
Owen, man, you're not past the moon stuff yet. I mean, that's kind of so.
God, inshallah, it was 1 week left. There's 1 week left, and God damn it, he is pushing it. Oh my God, like, give me this.
He is. It's better for him because he can't go to Easter Sunday with his with his in-laws because of the moon.
There is no way to spin that as a good thing. I told Royce that earlier. I was like, yo, if you came back from out of town without your wife
on Easter,
after I knew you were going on a holy holiday to go visit them, and you just came back and we're like, dude, we just thought it was best. I would immediately, because the family hates you, don't they? There's something you did something, or somebody else did something that you got so angry, but something happened. There's a divide. But he's like, nah, man, we're on the same page. They're eating dinner without you, Owen.
Roscoe Truman, 1499. Keep it up, guys. Thank you, Roscoe.
And I just would rather stay away from that situation. I explained to my son this morning that it's not about chocolate. It's, some really bad men. I didn't say Jews. I'm not going to bring up any of that until he's old enough to get loans.
Yeah, I'm sure. You're going to raise him for 18 years to not say, you're not going to pump Jew shit into his head?
And you're going to be screaming outside in the patio while he grows up? You don't think he's going to hear it?
Like, I would at least admit if I had kids, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get them woke. But you gotta go make sure they don't go crazy with it. You know what I mean? You got to get them where, you got to give them the same, I would treat my kids the same way we do this show. Where I'd be like, I make sure everybody gets a little bit of a beating once in a while, but then also highlight positives about people. So the kid doesn't grow up being like, the moon and the Jews and the fuck.
King N-word 1/8 says he's red pilling toddlers.
Some bad men tried to kill a very good man, and then 3 days later, the very good man came back to life, and that's why we have, came back from the dead, and that's why we have chocolate. And he said, of course. And I was like, of course. And that was, I'm trying to really instill that Easter is about that. And he's like, but chocolate. I'm like, the very good man who came back after the very bad man hurt him. And I did not say...
Wow, he has small hands. I can't stress enough how small his hands are.
Juice. It has nothing to do with that at that age. Is the reason that you can have chocolate. And
it has everything to do with that with you, Owen, all the time.
Of course.
It's it's like if there was a light switch in his brain, right? Like most, you go in a room and there's down is off, up is on. Owen has a light switch in his brain, and it's literally just Jews, moon.
So this is him outside.
Looking good. Looking sharp.
I'll read a couple just people in chat because there is no super chats anymore, which is fine.
It's totally cool. I love it.
Yeah.
I love my new apartment. I think it's rad. Like, I first of all thinking of getting one of those like those beer keg taps up in here, you know, like a little mini bar thing. I'm loving it, dude.
Here's another weakness that I don't think people picked up on. The reason he goes, I'm just going to read stuff from the chat since there's no super chats anymore. Owen can't do a show without the chat. Like, he needs it.
Oh, yeah.
Because he'll hit a roadblock and he'll just sit there. He needs it. So
Which
now he's reading an open chat.
Which I almost,
no more members only.
I almost think anyone at some point will hit that wall. But he people like him, and you know who's another one is Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska has always been a guy that just read his chat, would just catch things in the chat and react to people saying things because there is no firing it up and going in your own direction.
Of course,
it's literally just I'm an NPC and can only react to the options you choose in the bar. And that's what you're saying. Like but he needs it. Like, I'm guilty of that. You're guilty. Sometimes you're like, what else you got going on? Oh, what do I think about the I forgot about that. Let's bring that up. But this guy is just all the time like, so what else?
What else, guys?
I hope you guys are having fun. I know I'm having fun.
Yeah, you look it.
Anybody want to say anything that I can read?
He's getting mad at them for not saying things. He's getting mad at them for not saying things he can read. Owen fans may be the most abused fan base on the planet.
Yeah, it's the ones I was saying this the other night when we were talking about it on Nightwave. It's like, why do you do Owen more? And I'm like, because we did it originally to, get under his skin and fucking break his balls, but also because we wanted to show people that we're vulnerable, that maybe he is a retard, that you're not only a retard, but just an ungrateful, arrogant, mean-spirited retard who's just stealing from you. So we highlighted that, and it's like getting people out of a cult. You shake the tree, and some lemons fall, and some of them don't.
Right.
But after a while, you could hit the tree with a car, and there's some that are just going to be on there because they're not ready yet. And there's enough people. Like, any lemons that were going to fall off the goddamn tree, we got. As far as trying to help people away from them. Whoever's left at this point, you can't help those people.
What are you going to do? Yeah.
Those are the people pouring gasoline on on their own doorways and being like, "We'll burn alive in here. Fuck them."
No one should feel sorry for you. I'm disabled and I don't do a GoFundMe. You still use your Hollywood sleazy tactics. You're now banned?
Well, there you go. That's really funny.
But this is from Johnny Arcade for people that might want to.
I know. There's a lot of.
There's a lot this week.
He's been having a rough Easter.
Yeah, it's not been a great weekend for him.
Understand, when they come for people like Crowder, it'll be a similar situation. Crowder can't talk to me anymore. Crowder. I've crossed lines that Crowder can't associate with. And so when they come for him, and he needs, people that still have a voice, which I will always have because I have no backers, what am I going to do? And I like Crowder. I think he's a good guy. It's just when you're part of that machine, once you bring in Glenn Beck and seven-figure, endorsements, you don't get to make your own decisions anymore.
Well, he's not. Look, he's not wrong about that. I will agree with that sentiment he's making. Yeah, that's not a bad point. But it's not that you were an edgy boy. It's that you went fucking nutso, dude. There's a difference.
And then when people come for you, there's no one left to help you. And it bummed me out because me and Crowder used to do some great comedy.
That's very arguable.
Did you never post it online?
Very arguable.
Did you ever post any of the good did you keep it in a vault? Because all the stuff I've seen has been fucking hokey and terrible. It's not funny. I don't
know. The Chinaman one was pretty
That's the worst one.
Oh, I have a car, Chinese.
That's really, you're right. You know what? Now you turn me around on that.
Me not the homosexual at all.
KKK says, what is the future of Owen Benjamin? I mean, what is it going to happen to PewDiePie's channel in 50 years? I stay up thinking about these things. The future for Owen? Trimming trees at some point.
Chris Benoit.
Some trehab.
By the way, Mob Tech in the chat said, did good comedy. Lies!
But, the moon landing stuff and criticizing Israel, he can't associate.
The moon landing stuff had nothing. Again, the moon landing stuff wasn't why he couldn't associate with you.
Yeah, there's some batshit crazy shit that they will let you babble on endlessly about on the internet, and they'll never come for you.
With me anymore.
And by the way, it wasn't Israel. It wasn't like you went, hey, man, I really criticized a couple policies going on out there in Israel. Pretty fucked up. No, it's been 4 months of Jew. These fucking Jews, goddamn Jews. Months and months of 5-hour-long streams. Thumbing your nose at the bosses and giving them advance.
And
like
the
eventually,
titles, too, yeah.
it's eventually, sorry, but it wasn't the moon stuff. You can do the gay level, the entry level of conspiracy theories until the cows come home, and they're never going to come for your channel.
Robbie Don't Care says, how much do $5? How much do you wager George will be found hanged from a lat pull down station? Jesus Christ!
With a Bible next to him.
Yeah.
Oh no! And oddly enough, for some reason, Owen also knows Chavo Guerrero and is texting him.
Does his lawn work? Got it.
Surprised he hasn't done like a slam video on me. And I have no beef with the guy. None. You know, like a lot changed when Glenn Beck got in that situation. And it's like, we were just comedians, dude. We're just comedians.
Was Crowder really a comedian, though? Because, again, in my experience, comedians are funny.
And, you know, when all his people left, you know, like the computer German guy and all that stuff, and I was there on
the computer German guy. The computer German guy.
What is he talking about?
Sven Computer. He called him the computer German guy.
Plane the next day to have his back.
You notice that's a theme? Can I point out another theme with Owen? You notice he never knows the names of the underlings.
Oh, he can't be bothered. He can't be bothered.
He's the guy. Remember when he did that Sandler movie? And we can all agree that he was probably on the very upper end of the nobodies on that. Like, it's like the nobodies crew. You're basically an extra, right? He's the kind of guy that probably was on that set for a day and didn't even bother to know the names of like the production assistant. And you're a glorified extra. But I bet you did know the name of the production assistant and the food people and all that. Motherfucking Adam Sandler. There's a reason why motherfucking Adam Sandler is a success, and there's a reason why motherfuckers like Dwayne The Rock Johnson are a success. You think everybody goes, The Rock is the nicest man who ever lived. And I'm like, I'm sure he's very nice. But much of that is just a guy being self-aware and almost borderline sociopathic and going, I make sure I know everybody around here.
And he is nice. I've met him twice. I met The Rock twice.
He is a nice guy.
He is a genuinely nice man. He doesn't feel like he's rushed. He looks at you in the eyes when he talks to you.
And I bet you Sandler knew it, but I bet you he's the kind of guy on the set of that stupid Sandler movie who probably would be like, oh, no, the food guys or whatever. Like, he's that kind of just narcissistic trash.
Somebody said they miss Not Gay Jared. Hey, I like Not Gay.
We love Not Gay
Jared.
And by the way, I'm mad that I lost my Twitter account, but, like, I would bullshit with him on Twitter, and he's, by the way.
Oh, I sent him a message to follow your new account.
We're cool now.
Perfect.
But without even... Not Gay Jared is a very funny guy.
He is.
And he's one of those guys that...
Funnier than Owen Benjamin. I'll say that right off the bat.
Leagues above
He
Owen.
is way...
and he's one of those guys that behaves himself. So he's always saying stuff like in private. Like that's just... And you're like, that's fucking hilarious. And he's like, I figured you'd enjoy that. Like, no, because he's a nice guy and he doesn't like to... You can tell he's the kind of guy that doesn't like to pick on people. But man, when he's got a good burn on somebody, he'll go privately to one person and be like... And you're like, fuck, that's brutal. That's hilarious.
He's a funny dude.
Like, all right, Not Gay Jared's the man.
It's funny, dude. I did ask him. I was like, hey, man, and I mean this. Like, you really should start a show. Like, you're funny. You know, you and maybe Sven Computer. And he goes, more of behind the scenes guy. You know, that's my. And that's what he started out as a producer. But you know, it's like the behind the scene producer guy's funnier than Owen Benjamin. Funnier than Crowder.
You know who we team up then?
Who?
Fucking Not Gay Jared.
Chris
Harrison
B.
H. Smith.
Sorry. Oh yeah,
and
perfect.
Then Chris B.
And then Chris B has
a
third mic
to lighten it up.
Yeah, yo, dog, I'm gonna freestyle real quick.
Hell yeah, the Greek debt is really fucked up. How they even gonna pay that shit, man? That's crazy. You know what though? Chris B got the fat stacks for Greece, and then Not Gay Jared has to be like, that's fake money.
That's not real money.
Man, fuck you.
Oh fuck. There's a lot of people that have. There's a lot of people that have theories as to why gay in the chat room why Gay Jared was gone. I give credence to none of them, but I will say some of them are not far off. That I could say.
Yeah. But I will say this: he's very good at making funny jokes that are like really like the kind of thing that like you and two other people, when you go, God damn, that's funny, dude.
Somebody says bring Not Gay Jared on.
Happily.
Of course, he's always welcome.
You know what's funny? Somebody said that to me once on the Nightwave comments. They were like, "You should get Nick Mullen on," and I was like, I can assure you that any lack of Nick Mullen on this program is not due to any lack of enthusiasm on my part. I can assure you that if I could get Nick Mullen on the show, I would fucking get him here in the studio.
We hear it all the time. You guys should get Trump on. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, we'll get the president on. Hold on.
Yeah, absolutely, I'll give him a call.
Yeah, right now. I can't associate with Alex Jones anymore, so I'll go on your show. You guys still on YouTube, right? Sorry.
It's like when you don't reciprocate, it's on you. It's not on me. I don't need his help. But like when I got demonetized, when I got kicked off PayPal, like there's no call from Crowder. There's no help there because I've crossed political lines. And friendships can't last. You know, like communities, camaraderie, that stuff can't last when if you say the wrong sentence or you associate with the wrong person, you're cut out.
Kind of the way you treat your fans, Owen. When anybody criticizes you, you out them from your community. What bothers me the most is that he has no self-awareness. You know, it's like you get rid of people all the time. You out people from the community. You made up a lie that somebody sent poisoned candies to your kid. Like, you're the one doing these things. You're not aware of that? You're not this fucking truth seeker, Owen. You're not. You're not. You're a time bomb.
Yeah, all you've got left is your family, and that is, trust me, hanging on a thread.
Now, this is from, again, Johnny Arcade. Amy hired a dog trainer to train Owen. Check this out.
You know what? Before you even hit play, I already know what he's going to say in this, and trust me, I heard some of it, and I was like, bro, what the fuck? Yeah, this actually helps me with my trying to hit my time with 8 days left. This was the clip where I was like, you're going to get a fucking divorce, dude.
I realized that my wife and the trainer are both wearing these knee-high leather, like, riding type boots that look vaguely Nazi. So I have these two women that are both wearing these very authoritarian boots. And I'm wearing like an Unbearables hoodie. I'm all unkempt, just standing there with my giant white dog, George. And we both kind of look at each other realizing that we're being trained. And that they're like talking about how, you know, you give them a leash, like a long leash, and you make them forget that the leash exists, so you can see how they actually act. And then when they go out of the circle, you just kind of yank their head, and then over time you rewire their brain until they always look to you for what they can do. And so, and this whole time I'm looking at the boots, and I'm looking at the big white dog, and I'm looking at how I'm literally standing there. And I'm realizing that the training is not just for the dog, but for the human male. And I started almost getting a little.
This is
I was starting to give a little pushback where I'm like, yeah, but what if the dog wants to fucking do what the dog does? What if the dog bought the couch?
This is psychosis. Could you?
Whoa. Sorry. I have to ask because I want to make sure I didn't mishear this.
Oh, he said, what if the dog bought the couch?
So what he's saying is that
he's rubbing
he's using the dog as a metaphor for him and his wife.
And he's using the fact that he earns the money to almost kind of roundabout threaten his wife. Or at least put her in her place in his mind.
And then people look at me like, the trainer and my wife are like, how would George buy the couch? I'm like, well, what if George worked hard for the couch and maybe he wants to jump on the couch? It doesn't really matter what you think.
You're paying a dog trainer and you're fighting with the dog trainer about your couch?
His poor wife has to just constantly be embarrassed and beaten down. And you know what I mean? Like that is the kind of thing where your wife goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
Can somebody? The Bears that are left all have to be in the same psychosis as him at this point. At this point, the amount of stuff that's come out.
That's what I was getting at earlier.
Yeah.
You can't save the people that are in now because you're just completely retarded and you won't leave because this is a home to you.
Yeah. And also, it was a little emasculating when the dog trainer, a woman, is like, yeah, I mean, the dog just needs a lot more, like, alpha leadership out of his owner. And they both kind of look at me, and I'm like, we're friends. I respect his space. And so then the more I look at these women in boots and how they're treating George, I realize they're right, that the dog actually wants very direct and constant dominance.
Owen.
He's doing good.
Owen, are you the dog?
He's the dog.
Owen, are you the dog?
He wants to be dominated.
Owen, are you the dog in this situation, bud? Is that what's happening?
And it's just like, And it's like, no. And then you get it to where you can leave the door open, you know. And I learned quickly, because I was trained by this trainer so that I could train my dog. So I open the door, and when George starts lunging at the door, I just knee him in the face.
That's not what the trainer
the trainer
said to do.
the trainer
probably specifically advised against something of that nature.
No dog trainer is going to tell you knee your dog in the face.
That's literally
There's
what you
a
have to
reason
do.
why they explain to use the leash. He literally just explained them explaining why the leash works. Because they get used to, okay, I'm not supposed to be this far away from my owner or the property. And now you're like, nah, I just knee him in the face, though, man. The leash is all the way inside.
Mitch goes, I guarantee the trainer said, don't do that. Don't knee the dog in the face.
Specifically requested the opposite of that.
And I take my fingers like this, and
Sorry. Ajax the Wolf goes, total alpha move.
Did you see Mitch's other comment? When I took Sterling to obedience school, the first thing they said was, don't knee them.
I just jab him in the side, and then he backs up. And
The
you
whole
get
point
into
of the leash is that you're not in any way getting aggressive with your dog. Your dog is doing something and going, ow, I fucked up.
Exactly.
Okay. And then they go run again. And
They
like,
think they're
"Ow,
doing it to themselves."
I fucked up. I
Correct.
got to stop doing that. But if you're just like, whack, GSP, like, Vox Day.
You took it. I was going to say
yeah.
Fox Day.
But, back fist, forefudge. Forward kick. Somebody in the chat even brought that up. You do that kind of shit, and it just eats your kid. And you're like, what happened? Why did my baby get eaten by my dog?
point where
Somebody goes, Owen Benjamin now sounds like the impression Mersh does of Owen Benjamin. It's true.
It's fucking life imitating art right there.
you can have the door open and you're just kind of doing your own thing. It's all about the energy where you're just like, he's not the focus. And then the door's open and he doesn't even go towards the door, and that's when you can walk to the door. And as this is all happening, I'm just realizing that Amy is completely taking notes about how to deal with me. And that eventually there will become a time when the door will be just left open and no one does anything. It's also how you treat farm animals. So a lot can be learned from that. Dogs understand hierarchy. I know, and there's a little bit of a judgy vibe when everyone looked at me that the dog wasn't getting enough alpha dominance and that his leadership was weak. And I'm like, it's man's best friend, not man's tyrannical employee. But then I realized I wasn't doing George any services.
So now I knee him in the face. I can't imagine any dog trainer would
I've had situations. Do I still have yeah, I got a scar right here. Very bad scar that I still have to this day. Because a giant bulldog, not a pit bull, but a bulldog bit into my hand. I was just badly trained. And I was furious. I had to go get a tetanus shot to go to the hospital for that. Trust me, that's the closest I've ever wanted to fucking punch a dog in the face. And it was while it was still latched onto me. But even then, you still just rip your hand out, you know? And you're like, but I've never wanted to just beat a dog. I've always shouted them down because I have a powerful voice. And they feel just as bad when you do that. And it's that way you're not abusing them. I've yelled at dogs and had them go under furniture. Like, he is furious. But this guy, man.
By not, at all times, giving him something to do, showing his boundaries, making him feel valued in his boundaries.
Yeah, and if you don't do that, if you can't even do that with your dog, your kids are fucked.
Yeah.
The only kids that do well in this world are ones that you keep busy and you stay engaged with, and has two parents that one is always with them and bothering them. Even though all the shit that we hate about our parents as a kid is all the shit that they really need to be doing. All the shit you resist as a kid. They sitting there and doing your homework with you and fucking being annoying and making you eat vegetables and making you take karate even though you hate karate.
Yep.
It's all shit to keep you from getting on the internet and reading fucking, siege memes and shit and becoming a fucking mosque shooter. The best way to do it is to fucking, what he's saying, and he's not going to do it with his kids. His kid's going to be fucked.
$2 in the chat. Roseanne had some choice words for Owen. Yes, we're about to play that now.
She did.
Brent says, thoughts on Roseanne calling out Owen. Doctor, Roseanne called them out a fag. Yep, we know. I need clout. Please shout me out. Pop Vulture Inc. Give Pop Vulture Inc. attention. I am shouting him out.
So I was at the hotel this weekend. I was in Tampa, and I was very nice little like bar on the rooftop right on the river in downtown. It was very nice. Wasn't like pricey, but it was nice. It was just a nice, because Tampa's a cheap city.
Yeah.
Especially when there's no like major events, no games, no hockey, nothing. It's cheap. But I was staying there, and this video popped up on my suggested, and it was just while I had some downtime, and I'm having a smoke, and I'm having a drink outside, and I see Roseanne calls Owen a fag on Easter, and I'm like, okay, this can't. And I had headphones in. I turned so many heads at this nice little quiet piano playing, and I just people just turning around. I'm like, I can't help this was like all these worlds converging, and I couldn't help it.
All right, well, here it is.
Okay, there's the Armageddon vehicle, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck that fag Owen Benjamin talking about growing carrots and women aren't funny, bitch. I wish you could think as far ahead as me. I'm taking my vehicle to go get me some smokes.
I love her.
Happy Easter.
She, by the way, we can all agree, she is a shit show of a human being.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't make me not love Roseanne.
Oh, no, I love Roseanne.
I'll never not love Roseanne.
Yeah.
Have to.
So, yes, she called. We can hear that again one more time, just to see.
Okay, there's the Armageddon vehicle, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck that fag Owen Benjamin talking about growing carrots and women aren't funny, bitch. I wish you could think as far ahead as me. I'm taking my vehicle to go get me some smokes.
That is a great ending to that, by the way.
Her saying that is funnier, and she's not even trying to be funny.
Right.
Her just saying that is funnier than anything Owen's ever done.
I agree 100%.
Get me some fucking smoke. But like, again, I saw that because when I clicked on the link, I was just this quiet spot and I hit it, and I'm thinking, okay, she probably says something in a vague context and describes them, like most people, roundabout. Certain people out there lately been, talking about farming, people that talk about the moon and Jews a lot. Well, I'll tell you, you're a fag. Like, I hit that, and all I hear is, that motherfucker, Owen Benjamin, you fag. I'm like, I love her. I'll never not love her, and fuck you.
Olive Dane says, Owen, $10. Owen is beyond help. George needs a new home without a crazy drunk throwing elbows and empties at him. Davey Crocco, $2. Owen learned terms gamma and logos and won't shut the fuck up about them. Agreed 100%.
Oh, yeah. And don't forget wizardry. That was another Vox thing. He just copied.
OJ's White Bronco. How much has really changed in the last 4 months? He's still ranting, still isolated from his in-laws, and still having donations issued. No, not much has changed.